Hello again, I hope you're all well and welcome back to Extraordinary People, the Pride of Britain. The podcast brought to you from all of us on the Pride of Britain team and our friends at TSB. We are so proud, I know I keep saying it, of our Pride of Britain family, and one of the many privileges of my job is watching our winners grow, watching them to go on to do even bigger and even better things after they've won an award. It's fair to say that today's guest has been doing just that, and with spectacular success. We are going to be catching up with Nikki Christou, an amazing young woman, someone who has faced huge challenges in life, but who's used her own experiences to help others and has genuinely become an inspiration to millions. I first met Nikki when she was a Pride of Britain Child of Courage winner. Way back in 2016. She was only 12 years old then, but she was already becoming a YouTube star. Now, Nikki suffers from a rare condition called arteriovenous malformation, which, among other things, affects the way she looks. It can make life very painful and very difficult in oh so many ways. But Nikki used videos and vlogging to reach out to others and to help promote visibility for people who might look a little different. Nikki is now 17 years old, and her TikTok videos, wait for this, are watched by more than 8 million people. More than the number, way more than the number who even watch Coronation Street. And that just blows our minds. She's fantastic. We can all learn a lot from this wonderful girl. She took a break from her A-level exams to tell us more about her remarkable zest for life and what keeps her going. So here she is, Nikki Christou. You're getting older now. I've met you on this journey quite a few times, haven't I? You've even baked some gorgeous cupcakes for me in your home at one point. How old are you now, Nikki?
So I'm 17 in my last year of school. Yeah, so I'm in my last year of school, which is really crazy to say because I think when I actually got my Pride of Britain award, I was in like my first year of school.
I was going to say, secondary.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I'd have just started secondary school then, and now I'm like finishing it. So it's a really weird kind of full circle moment.
And in terms of, I always ask my children, marks out of 10. I always say marks out of 10 for this project, marks out of 10 for the day, marks out of 10 for the year. So I'm going to ask you marks out of 10 for the experience of your secondary school.
Oh, maybe 7 out of 10 because for me, my secondary school was great and I met some amazing people that will be, my friends forever. But I think I've always just struggled a bit with school. Like I've always been more kind of drawn to the more creative subjects and struggled a lot to keep up. And just, I think for me, the best parts of it were the people and the routine, especially because so much of my life is out of control. The good thing about it is 5 days a week I had that routine and reason to kind of get up and things like that. But I think it can be very stressful at times and you can put so much pressure on yourself. I've got my A-levels coming up next week. So it seems, I know, I'm so worried about it. But I think it's it's the balance, isn't it? There's definitely highs to it, but there's also things that aren't so great about it.
Now, we've spoken many times, obviously, and seen your fantastic YouTube and Instagram work as a vlogger. What gave you that motivation to start your vlogging?
I think what gave me the motivation is that I saw the pros and how it could benefit my life as so much more than how it could not. So, for example, when I first started YouTube, I had the comments turned off. So, and that was kind of a decision by myself and my mum and dad. So I think at that point, there wasn't too much worry about that because it was just in my head and in my parents' head, a project for me to put my energy into because when I was diagnosed with my condition, I seriously lost so much. I had to give up everything and I lost my identity and who I was as a person that I was only starting to kind of figure out and accept. And so I think for me, I'd always loved making videos. And so it seemed it just seemed like the natural progression, really. And I'd always love role playing, things like that. And so making videos just sort of felt like second nature, and I absolutely loved it. And I think, my parents and I could both see how much it was benefiting me and impacting my confidence, because it gave me a way to escape for a couple of hours of my day from the pain, or the fact that I have a medical condition, or the reality that was my life, and allowed me to just be Nikki and ramble about things, that made me happy. And so I think, although I was worried when we turned the comments on, because you never know what to expect, and a lot of people in the world, unfortunately, aren't kind, especially on the internet. But I think with the help and support of my parents, they really reassured me that it is all my choice. And if I get to a point where it's ever like, I'm not really happy doing this anymore, the comments are getting too much, or things like that, then there was no pressure to continue. So it was really just all on my terms, and I did it because I enjoyed it, and that it became my safe haven, really. So I think that's what kind of spurred me on to want to do it.
Well, when I came to see you, when we did the show looking back over 20 years of Pride of Britain, and I was very honoured to be able to come to your house, and even more honoured to be able to go into the magic booth, which is your studio, and be made up as well by you.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that, Nikki. I really did.
No, that was so much fun. We had such a good day together. We did some makeup, some baking. Yeah. It was so great.
Oh, I know. We had a great day. And you do inspire people. And I know you'll have heard that 1,000 times. And I'm sure at times you just kind of smile and go, yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But you do. How do you find time just to be a teenager?
No, that's a really good question. I think for me, I've always struggled with being a normal teenager because of the things that I'm going through that a normal teenager doesn't. So like when I was at 6 years old, obviously I found out about my condition, and it is still something that is a chronic illness and that I deal with 24/7, through my life. And so I think it's trying my best to kind of appreciate the little moments where I can be a teenager, because it does get me down sometimes that I can't do certain things that people my age and my friends are doing, and I watch them doing so freely. I don't really have that freedom so much, which I think has got more difficult as I've got older, and I am going to be 18 this year. But I think for me, it's trying my best to kind of appreciate the little things and make the most out of those moments. So, if I have a really good day with my friends and we go shopping, or, I think actually one good thing about school is that it allows me to be a normal teenager, even though I may not like it at times and it stresses me out. It's something that allows me to be a part of a community of normal teenagers and kind of feel like I am a part of that, because I think I spent so much of my life feeling like an outsider, and I feel like as I've grown up, I feel like I've become more a part of my school and the community there and things, and the people in my year, which has been really nice. But I think it's doing those little things, for me, because sometimes the good days are so few and far between when I'm having bad health, or struggling with my condition. You really do just have to appreciate those little moments, like even if it's going for a walk, like doing these little things that just help you feel more grounded. And I think those are the things that all are about trying to balance being a teenager. And I think it can be difficult at times, because I've kind of got three sides to my life. I've got, the normal teenager side. I've got my health, which is, the bigger side really, because it controls everything. And then I've got my online life. And so I think it's trying my best to kind of split my time as much as I can into making sure I have time for myself, and that time for myself and my well-being is doing things with my friends, or sitting there in bed all day and watching a film, or those little things like that all make you an average teenager. And I think that's what I'm learning as I get older, is it's not about the huge things that people do. Of course I'd love some more freedom like other kids have, in the sense of not having to worry about my condition everywhere I go, but I'm still able to do those little things whenever I can. And I think that's what I try to hold on to, is that when I have a good day, there's so much more important than they would be to the average person, because I know the juxtaposition of that.
How easy is it for you, Nikki, to travel?
It's not very easy for me to travel, so I haven't been on public transport in the last two years because of health issues and the worry that I could have a bleed on like a tube, and then what do you do? Um, but also in terms of like holidays and flying and things like that, I've not been on holiday like abroad somewhere since 2017. And then in 2017, I wasn't even very well on holiday, so then we didn't end up being able to enjoy it very much. But flying is quite difficult for me because it's all about, the unknownness of what could happen. So, my parents end up having to drive everywhere because I could have a nosebleed like that, and then it's best to be in a scenario where you have more sort of certainty that you could control it or act fast than like an airplane or on a train or things
Yeah.
like that, which is a real shame because I wish I had that freedom, and I wish that I could just go on holiday with, my friends are booking holidays because we're all turning 18 this year, and I unfortunately can't go on those because I'm in a really unstable place with my health at the moment. So it's things like that where it does make it quite difficult. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that your health is unstable at the moment, Nikki, and I'm sure
Thank
everybody
you.
listening will feel the same too. Because if anybody deserves to, have easier times with their health, it's definitely you. Because
Thank
there
you.
are a lot of children, particularly, but adults as well. And now you're almost an adult,
I know.
almost an adult, coming up to your
Crazy.
18th birthday, um, who take great strength from you. And did you find that? I'm going to take you back to the lovely night when you in 2016, when Mary Berry, because you
Yeah.
love your baking, and Mary Berry
Yeah.
presented you with your Pride of Britain award. Did you feel the love in the room that night?
Oh, 100%. I feel like Pride of Britain is one of those nights where the love in the room is literally palpable. Like you can feel it, and there's a certain energy in the room. And I think especially when my name got called out for the Child of Courage, and I walked up like on stage, and it was just people like standing up, clapping, and like um, things like that. I think it's such a crazy moment. I couldn't quite like fathom it while I was there because I think I was so overwhelmed with how much support and love I felt that I couldn't even process it. And I think it really, really was a night that helped me keep going, because I think when you have those dark days, you really struggle to find reasons to pick yourself up. And each time you do pick yourself up, it can get even more tiring the next time. And so I think nights like that where people are, although, like you said, the word's not always the best, but inspired by you and are there to support you and cheer you on, that is sometimes the, you know, the sprinkle of like magic or support that you need to help you keep going. So yeah, I remember even like weeks after, months after, and even years after now, like when I sit and think about that night, it just like fills me with joy because I can still feel and remember
Yeah.
how incredible of a night it was and how much love like and support was in the room and in the air. Yeah, it's in Pride of Britain's an incredible community because everyone there is just there to support one another.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Did we choose the right award presenter for you, Mary Berry?
Definitely. I mean, it was Mary Berry, it was Jamie Oliver, and Candace who'd won the Bake Off the year before, I think.
That's
And so
right.
for
Yeah.
me, I mean, that was huge. It was so, so huge. Have always been such a big fan of baking. And again, like making videos, it's been a huge coping mechanism for me, and escapism. And so especially thus far, those were the people that I like looked up to, especially, Mary and Jamie, like they are cooking icons. And so it was, I kind of had no idea who would be presenting my award. I tried to think like, could it be this person or that person? But I really had no idea. But it was the best surprise ever. And it's so nice because, they were such lovely people. And I've actually, when we had work experience in year 10, I did it with Jamie Oliver, and we've stayed in touch, and we're really good friends now. So it gave me the opportunity to meet him at Pride of Britain, and we've been friends ever since, and had like a relationship. So I think that's what's so, so nice about it. And same with Candice and Mary.
And I hope
Yeah.
that your friendship with Jamie kind of really demonstrates, what the vast majority of people think. And I've spoken to a number of our Pride of Britain winners, obviously, on this podcast. And, it's about the percentage of people who are nasty, but the far bigger percentage who are good people.
Exactly.
But they generally tend to be the silent ones. Sadly.
Exactly. Yeah, even you find that with comments online, there'll be so many lovely people supporting you and watching your videos in the background or commenting, but you always sort of struggle to hone in on those ones sometimes, because you'll have like the one hate comment among the 1,000 positive ones, and the positive ones have so much more power. But I think sometimes we just let the negative ones be the ones that stick in our mind.
You hit 1 million YouTube subscribers. Goodness me, how many have you got at the moment?
So I've got about 1.3 million on YouTube now. But since I started, about that much. I hit it in early 2020. But then since doing YouTube, I kind of made a natural progression to TikTok as well, because lockdown, it sort of, everyone was going onto it. It felt like the natural thing to do, even though I had no idea what I was doing. I was kind of working out how to use it as I went along. But on there now, that's my biggest platform, and I have 8.3 million followers.
What? 8.3 million followers. And which ones of your TikToks do they particularly enjoy then?
So there was one that I posted only a few days, so exactly a month after I started TikTok, to the date, I hit 1 million followers. So there was a TikTok that I did on New Year's Eve, which was only a couple of days after I started TikTok, that overnight got 90 million views. Yeah. And it's not even a good video. This is what confuses me, because it's not even anything special. And it's always the ones that you don't put that much effort into that do well. But yeah, that one, there's another one that I did earlier this year that's on 50 million. You never know what's going to do well. But I think that's been a really nice other way to kind of express. I kind of focus on makeup on TikTok, because I really think it's a great way to raise awareness about having a visible difference in my condition and the struggles that go along with that, but also showing that I love makeup and I have a passion for it, and how makeup is for everyone, no matter how you look, no matter your gender, background, anything. And so I think because it's that kind of short form content, it's a way that allows me, very different to YouTube, but with the same kind of basis of allowing you to kind of hopefully impact people, or help them, in the short form content way, or things like that. So that's where it's been great for me, because I obviously love YouTube and still do it, but I think sometimes when you don't have all the time to film a YouTube video and edit it and things like that, you can still try your best to make an impact by posting a shorter video and things like that. So that's been insane, because I remember when I hit 1 million, I was like, this will always be my biggest platform. And then I started TikTok, and then I was like, what is going on? So yeah, it's been amazing. And so many more people sort of come up to me now and say that, they really appreciate me making videos, or I've had people that have commented who also have visible differences or AVMs, which is so crazy because AVMs are so rare. So yeah, it's just another way to really hopefully get my story out there. And even if I impact one person, I mean, that's all I could ask for, and that's what Spursy want.
I think, Nikki Christou, that you've actually impacted more than one.
I hope so.
I'll be in charge of the zeros that come after that one, but you really have. So it's an absolute delight, as ever, to be talking to you. I do wish that I was in your house talking to you, though, because then I could have some more cupcakes and you could do a better job.
I know. Gosh, we have to have a catch up soon. Definitely.
I would like that. I genuinely would like that. Now we're allowed to travel a little bit. So what is coming up this year on the Nikki Christou agenda on your calendar?
So I finish school, obviously. I mean, I don't finish it really till after A levels. I mean, I've got my last day on Wednesday, but I don't classify me being finished until my exams are out of the way. So I finish those in mid June, and then I will be turning 18 in July, which
Oh,
obviously further opens up opportunities to me. I am one of the youngest in my year, so like everyone's turning 18 and I'm just here still 17, just waiting. So yeah, I turn 18 and I'm not planning on going to uni. It's just never really been something I've been drawn to doing or wanted to do. And I feel like, if you have to go to university to further pursue your career choice, or also I think it's kind of 50% also just growing as a person and
yeah,
learning new life skills and independence and things like that, then I think it's great. But I don't really need either. And so I feel like it would just be a waste. And so my plan is to hopefully do more presenting stuff. I would love to, sink my teeth into something a lot more sort of impactful or of a mature nature and things like that, as I will be 18. There's so many things that I want to raise awareness about or kind of investigate. So I think that would be amazing. And then I obviously will hopefully continue with my social media stuff because, that's all been really great so far. So it's been hard to balance, so, school with that and also my health being up and down. So it would just be a big kind of weight off my shoulders once school is done. I'm planning on having an operation during summer that will be big, and I'm going to need stitches in my face, and it'll probably be about 9 hours long, maybe 10. So I'm going to be out for like a couple of months, which I'm really dreading. I'm not so much dreading the operation, I'm more dreading the aftermath because I don't know how to expect I'll look or the recovery process will be like. But
yeah.
that's something that will be happening. It's very overdue. So yeah, that will be happening in August. But I'm hoping then after that is when I can really kind of kick off my life and have the freedom that I've always desperately been hoping for and seeking. So there's that, and then I'm also kind of getting into more fashion stuff. So hopefully doing more with like Fashion Week and things like that would be really amazing. But I think under the basis of all of that, for me, it's always been trying to make an impact, and not even trying to make an impact. If it's even just hopefully making one person out their day a little bit brighter and making them realize how beautiful they are or the power that they have to change the world or to do anything that they put their mind to. Or, I've had so many people who message me saying that they applied for Junior Bake Off after I went on it, after not thinking that they ever would or would have dreamt of doing it because I inspired them, or, got into makeup even though they may not be particularly amazing at it, but it's all practice and it's all a process. So I think it's those little things that mean the most to me. So I think, yeah, it's just kind of trying to continue to make my small mark on this world, in whatever ways that I can, and also doing some more like charity campaigning with changing faces, and things like that. So lots of things up for me, really. Yeah, I'm just taking it each day as it comes, but I am just looking forward to the new chapter of my life because I think, I'm going to be an adult in a few months and we'll just have to see what happens, I guess. So, yeah.
Well, first of all, we wish you, everybody on the Pride of Britain team and everybody listening, I'm sure, wishes you, first of all the very best with your
Thank
exams.
you. Thank
Um,
you.
and probably most
Yeah.
importantly this year, Nikki, is, it sounds like a horrendously large operation that you're going to go through.
Yeah.
And and we wish you all the very best with that. And
Thank you.
perhaps one thought is, even if you didn't want to vlog at the time, you could just do the voice bit of it, if you didn't
Yeah,
feel up to doing the whole
exactly.
video, because I think people will want to hear you.
Yeah, you're so
um
right. I think you get a bit kind of worried about filming and things like that, but I found through, when I've done my documentaries about my life and things like that, it's
yeah,
the moments where I'm the most vulnerable and it's, hard for me that people actually really are
yeah,
impacted by and
yes.
things. So that's a great idea, actually.
Well, we remain ever proud of you, young lady, and
Oh, thank you.
and
It's
we
so
hope
nice to see you.
it's so good to see you too, darling. It really is. And like I said, we wish you all the very best. And
Thank you.
in the very truest sense of the word, you are one of the most beautiful people I have ever had the privilege to meet. You really, really
Oh,
are.
you'll make me cry. Thank you.
And we wish you well. And love to the family too.
Oh, thank you so much, Carol. And we'll have to have another baking day soon.
Yes, please.
100%. Let me know what you want to make and we'll do it.
All right then.
Done.
All right, then.
It's in the diary.
All right. Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Isn't she incredible? I absolutely love talking to her. And I hope you've come away from that conversation feeling uplifted. I know I have. For now, though, I'd like to say a big thank you to, of course, Nikki Christou, to our friends at TSB, to the lovely JK, but most importantly, to you. Thank you so much for being a part of Extraordinary People, the Pride of Britain. Until next time, please let us know what you think of this and all of our podcasts via any of our Pride of Britain social media channels. But for now, that's all for today. We will see you next time when we'll be talking to more extraordinary people. All love until then.